Hello, and welcome to Me, Myself, Help, and I, the show where we dive deep into the life's biggest questions and personal journeys. I'm your host, Nikhil, and today we are continuing the topic of the last two episodes, which, if you haven't listened to, please listen to it. And if you are new here, welcome. Today we are tackling the several myths about alcohol and demystifying it one by one. So we'll explore the common myths, share thought-provoking questions, and also open up about my own journey with it. So without further ado, let's get started. So as part of Me, Myself, Help, and I intend to make self-help helpful, so off the shelf and into your wealth. So this is what my plan is with this podcast. So if you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. So let's get right down to it. So today, as we discussed in the past, where we have understood what it is and what we are talking about alcohol and how it affects us. It is important to understand that not everybody will be at the same place. So it is acceptable. It is fine if you are having a different view right now and your relationship with alcohol is in a different place than a lot of us. So this is just to say that we are all in a different path. We are all in a different journey and everybody's journey is unique. So if you need further support, please let me know. I can help you one by one also. And if you are also looking for professional help, please find help as much as possible. So having said all that, let's get into straight the myth busting, which is what we are here for. So first myth buster, or first myth to be busted, is alcohol is a stress reliever. Now this is a big one. We always see these people, including myself, in the past, where I have had a stressful day and I come home or I go to a pub and relax and relieve all the stress by having a little bit of an alcoholic beverage. Now this sounds very harmless as it is concluded as a social lubricant, right? So we have been conditioned to understand that it's a social lubricant and it is necessary to be able to function in this society, and all the stuff out there shows this. Most movies show when a person is stressed, they often turn to alcohol or cigarettes or other drugs, and it might offer a temporary numbing, which is what happens, numbing of your stresses. So you're actually anesthetized. Is that right? Yeah. It's the same as going under before surgery. So it's basically you're just numbing all your senses, if that's the terminology. So, and when you are anesthetized, because it's an anesthetic and it's also an antidepressant. So both combines, you feel like there is no worries. But that's not true. It comes back. When you are in the hangover phase, all of the hangover plus your stresses and anxieties are still there. So this is just a temporary numbing of your problems. There are many other ways you can cope. You can work with it. So I used to reach for it to unwind, but it was temporary. It fixed a little bit of my mood and it didn't last long either. So you had to continue drinking to keep that same level of numbness. So you have one drink, you feel pretty good, and then 20 minutes later that drink starts to wear off the effects because it gets processed by liver and turns into acetaldehyde and gets into your bloodstream. It's a different kettle of fish. It needs to be processed and you are wearing off. The alcohol is treated as a poison. The body is starting to react, starting to reduce, it's starting to create immune response, etc. And then you start to wear off, and then you need another hit just to get you that numbing feeling again. And this is the cycle. So have you noticed that the cycle of stress and drinking in your life, how it is affecting you? Or have you noticed a little bit what healthier alternatives you could have? So these are the questions we can start to think about when we consider this number one myth, which is alcohol is a stress reliever. It is not. And this has been verified, proven, not just by me, by scientists, by doctors, everyone out there. And yet we continue to it. So that's how deeply we are ingrained in it. So my experience with alcohol as a stress reliever is a very interesting one, and it has challenged me a lot. And I'm glad to say that now I have different stress relievers. So when I'm stressed, I go for a walk, or I exercise, or I just get up and do a few jumping jacks. That itself has a transformative effect. So this is it. So that's the first number one myth busted. It's not a stress reliever at all. Second second myth is alcohol is essential for socializing. Now this one is a minefield. And by minefield, I mean it's a mind field. This is something which is so ingrained, so prevalent, and yet it is not often the case. When you look back at your childhood, depending on what childhood you've had, things might have been different. Or you see children, their socializing is so different. They have birthday parties. Actually, they socialize more than adults do, because they have a weekly thing. Every week there's a gathering of kids. So if you go into these birthday parties, if you're invited, you notice that there is no alcohol, yet they're all enjoying themselves. And that's often gets misinterpreted. It's like, oh, it's the kids. It's just the kids are just full of energy and they just do whatever they want. And when you think about it, you were also in that phase when once in a while where you were enjoying something so much that you did not actually need it. You did not actually need alcohol to support this key area of your life, socializing. So this myth pressures us into believing that alcohol is key to enjoying social life, which is absolutely not true. I have to say, I found meaningful and deeper conversations, once I started to change my behavior with alcohol. The other conversations usually revolve around few things, maybe 2-3 things. If you're interested in sports, if you're interested in sex, if you're interested in alcohol, or if you're interested in something else, these are the main 4 discussion points, and you probably judge people and you make fun of each other. These are the common things which happens in a socializing environment with alcohol. And I have shamefully been part of so many of those conversations. And now I feel I can say no to those conversations. And I can embrace the conversations I want to have. There is so much more meaningful, important conversations to be had where you need your full self, whole self present. And I've started to enjoy those things more. The reason I think socializing became an issue is because we were kind of habituated into believing that you needed alcohol to be able to relax and work on your socialization. So I work on your socializing skills. And it is very sad to see that a lot of people are still falling to this trap. And I would like for all of us to think, if this is affecting us, if you start to notice that your social events are not as fruitful if there is no alcohol, then you might want to consider, or you might want to understand that you might require a different relationship with alcohol, a one which obviously helps you get out of it. So there is the question where, are you able to enjoy social events without alcohol? So I think the answer is yes, you can enjoy without alcohol, and I think you'll have more fun. So myth, again, it's a myth. These are all not true. You don't need alcohol to socialize. The other thing is, like, there are so many cultures in the world where alcohol is not even part of their culture, yet they're having fun in their social events. So yeah, this is not true. The other myth, the next myth, myth number 3 in this series where we are discussing is alcohol enhances creativity and confidence. People assume that the real you comes out when you are inebriated. And now this can be a bit of like a controversial statement, but I think true you is when you don't have alcohol in your body. And a lot of people believe like your animal instincts are the real you, and you are just stopping it with your subconscious or your conscious mind or whatever. So there's like a lot of beliefs like that. I'm not challenging those beliefs, or I'm not discussing them. I am saying like we don't need alcohol to enhance our creativity, build our confidence. I was such a believer about confidence and creativity to a point where I used to drink before interviews. I used to drink before having meetings. I used to drink before, again, social events. I used to drink even before meeting family members, and actually helped me relax, kind of numb my feelings, which were basically feelings of something else which I have been postponing or rejecting. And I needed this before having any serious conversations. And this kind of spiraled out of control, where I think it was there for everyone to see. Previously, I was able to hide it well. Now, in the last few years, it was more open, and then I was like, okay, this is a problem now. So, yeah, that myth, again, is a truly astounding one, where we believe that our confidence comes from alcohol, and that is absolutely not true. Without alcohol, it's so interesting, because when you're inebriated, you are cloudy, you're confused, and because your prefrontal cortex, or the area of the brain which is the emotional control system, which is where all the it's the control tower where actually it regulates all the emotions and finds out which is true. This is the one which helps you from doing that nasty thing, or like doing something to someone, or like stopping yourself from doing harm, etc. These are the places where the brain where you can stay in control, and those things go off when alcohol is entering your bloodstream, which then enters your brain, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So once that happens, your prefrontal cortex, which is the control system, switches off, and then your rest of the brain has a field day. They can do whatever they feel like. So this is sort of thing which happens when you notice people like myself, maybe in the last few years, where I would be really animated, really excited about everything, or jumping up and down and like showing my, passions, and like as though it's true passion. And yeah, it was just a real show of emotion, and it's not something which I planned. It happens not automatically. This happens to a lot of people, where people think that, oh, now we are invincible, or sense of, wow, I can take on the world, etc. These are all this is normal behavior when your prefrontal cortex is switched off. And this can happen like even in situations of extreme happiness, and when the system is overloaded with dopamine and other chemicals, this can happen as well. So you can feel the same euphoria with other things, and you don't need alcohol to be able to support this. And your creativity and confidence comes from clarity, not cloudiness. So seek for clarity, search clarity within, and then you will start to notice that you don't need this substance to be able to support your well-being. So alcohol has subtly conditioned us to behave and respond in certain ways. So social conditioning, from celebrations to commiserations, alcohol is often the guest of honor. But why? Why is this? And again, this is just a legacy. This is just things how it has been done, and I'm challenging it. I am actually saying this can change and should change because this is affecting a lot of us. And myth number 4, moderation is easy for everyone. If you are able to find the balance with alcohol, you are sorted. And this is another myth which is propagated. There are a lot of people out there who claim they have a good relationship with alcohol, and I believe them to a certain extent, and I know what that can turn into. So yes, you may have a relationship. Then why would you even have a relationship with such a poison? If this is such, it is a poison, right? It's 100% of alcohol. 100% alcohol kills you. It's the same as cyanide. So why would you have a relationship where you can I'll have a little bit of cyanide every day, that's okay. But then you do the same thing with, you might do the same thing with alcohol. I'll have a little bit of alcohol every day, but I have a good relationship with it. Does not make sense. And even if it is, moderation is something you are aiming for. The problem with moderation is it can slowly go out of control. And also, it stops you from the previous things we discussed, where your creativity is hindered, your functioning is hindered, your body is affected. All the above processes are still active, and this is stopping you to become who you truly, really want to be. And this is not fun for anyone. So if moderation is working for you, just asking this question: what would your life be without alcohol? Will it be the same? If your answer is yes, then why would you want to drink something which is harming your body? And if you're saying the answer is no, then that means you have a problem with alcohol. And this is the question: will your life be the same without alcohol? So in this episode, I think we covered a few myths, and I think this was an interesting session for me as well. It also gave me a lot to think about from my own perspective, and hope this is useful for you as well. Hope this is something you can take into account when you think about alcohol and start to move away from it, to have a wonderful life, to have a flourishing life. So this is Nikhil. Thank you for listening to me, my Shelf-Help and I, where we making self-help helpful and from your shelf into your health and wealth. So thank you for listening again. Thank you for being here. Please do like, subscribe, share. Hope as many people receive this. And if there is any questions, concerns, suggestions, do let me know. You can reach out to me one-to-one. I'm available to support anyone who is going through any of these conditions which they are struggling to find solutions. I am here to support. I also work with other mental health issues, and also work with helping people to build a flourishing life as a life coach. So yeah, thank you for listening to this episode. Hope this is useful. See you again soon. Take care. Signing out.